Hey guys, this is Gabriel Lorenzi, creator of the blog Grupo Dicas, one of the biggest travel blogs in the world, and today I am here to tell you about the trip to Neuschwanstein Castle. I don't know if that's how you pronounce the name, it's quite complicated, but from the pictures you will see it's one of the most famous castles in the world. It's the castle that inspired actually Walt Disney to make Sleeping Beauty Castle, so it's famous all over the world for its history and it's a sensational place. I think it was the real tour, the most beautiful and the most worthwhile of our whole trip in Germany. So we'll give you all the tips on how to take your tour, how long it takes to arrive, which tickets you need to buy, what is good to see or not to see on the tour. In short, all the tips in a very quick, useful and non-binding way at all, guys. So don't forget to give us a like. I hope you enjoy the video, subscribe to the channel because it really helps us a lot, and buckle up. Well, let's talk about the tour that impressed us the most. It was our favorite of the whole trip to Germany. It's a very nice tour. It's the Neuschwanstein Castle. You will take a long time to speak, and even then you will probably not speak correctly because they speak in a very different way there. And this is one of the coolest sights to see. Why is that? It has a very cool history behind the castle, behind all the history. And besides that, it was the castle that Walt Disney used as inspiration to create the Castle of Sleeping Beauty. So these two forces ended up leaving this castle as one of the main tourist attractions and the most sought after by all the tourists who go there. The first thing everyone needs to know is where the castle is located. It's in the city of Fussen, which is 2.5 hours away from Munich. The closest city among the main ones, which are Munich, Berlin and Frankfurt, is Munich. We were in Munich staying there and we ended up doing this tour one day. This is a round trip that takes a whole day, but it's very worthwhile. You can do it in several ways. You can go by car if you have a rental car. You can get there by car without any problems. The only thing is that you can't drive up to the castle. You have to get there in the village, but everything is well signposted. You can put in Hotel Miller and you will see that you are very close, or you can put in the name of the castle itself, but you leave your car in the parking lot just like the guided tour. All the others you have to stop down there and then you complete the walk up there. This is another point that we will explain. So you can enter, you can either go with your car or you can go by train, which is a little bit more complex. You have to walk a little bit, and there's also a guided tour that we found very nice. It was a very good experience. You go with a specialized company, they pick you up by bus, with a very good bus already there in Munich, in the center of Munich at the meeting point. Then they take you there, you get to know everything, you already have all the stops, it's a little bit more organized, and you get to know a lot more of the history because the guide will explain it to you, and we'll tell you here which is the place we bought it, which is the place that has the best price, so you can buy it, save a little bit and have a good tour because they were very good and it's a company that we like a lot. So to explain quickly, very briefly people, I won't be talking about history here, it will be more about the tips, but quickly summarizing in 2 sentences for you to understand the history of the place. Very early on in Germany's past, there was a king who was known as the Mad King, King Louis II of Bavaria. So he ended up building this castle because he lived and grew up in one which is right next door, which you can also see, which is very nice. I recommend you to visit. You can't go inside, but you can see it from the outside. You can even compare the two, it's close by, right there in the region. So he grew up in this other castle which was called Neuschwanstein. I don't know, we'll leave it here, easier for you to see it written down. In this castle he wanted to make a new one. His dream was to build a new castle, a new Neuschwanstein. So he created this castle that gave birth to Neuschwanstein, and then he wanted to make a different castle. What was his idea? A very imaginary castle. So he fired the architect who was starting to build this new castle, and he fired a painter and artist to do the architecture. So something a little different at the time, but that gave rise to such a different castle the way it is. So it looks like it came out of a fairy tale really, and this made him very different and everybody wanted to know him. Walt Disney even used it as inspiration for Sleeping Beauty Castle. So on the tour you go to this Neuschwanstein Castle, which is the most famous, but you also go through and you also look at this other castle that the Mad King lived around, which is also beautiful and also has its history a little bit more classical. well. It carries the history, the culture there of Germany, of the whole war, so they are two slightly different styles. On the guided tour with the specialized company, they have already stopped there, they show you, they explain that this is the castle, then you stop, take a picture, there's a point where they stop there, it's a little bit easier, but if you're on your own, be sure to stop and see it because it's really worth it. When you get there, the Neuschwanstein, the village down there, if you go by bus with a company, you will have to get off and they will explain it to you. Now, you will have to go up the castle, and if you're driving, you stop there in the parking lot. It's a very small village, there's not much, there's a little shop or something, a place to have coffee, but it's a very small village, and then you have to go up. From what I remember, it takes about 30 minutes to climb. It's walking, it's a little bit heavy, no way. We went in the winter with Clarinha still with us. Clarinha thought she was 1.5 years old, she wasn't even 2, but we did it the hard way and it was very nice. You have the option of going up by cart. There are carters that you go with 2 horses, you pay, and you know, we have our, I don't know, opinions. We think a little bit, we saw the horses and it's a little bit heavy for them to go up and down all day long, so we chose to go on foot, but that's up to each one's taste. It's just an opinion, we don't want to judge anyone, but if you want to go by car, you can go, you can pay the cart maker on the spot, you can stand in line, and you know, you will see that there are a lot of people going up there on foot, you go walking. It's cool because you see the view, everything. And then you have to buy the ticket for the castle. If you go on your own, you buy it there on the spot or on the internet beforehand as well. But if you go for the guided tour, the price is not included. The ticket is not included in the price of the tour, but then the guide himself will collect the money from everybody, which is usually about 15 euros. He already has his contact information there. He already buys them over the radio. When he arrives, the tickets are ready, guaranteed, and he helps you, but it's not included. The ticket you will have to pay anyway, going separately, or with the tour you will have to pay this 15 euros to enter the castle. And then going up, you will see several nice spots where you can stop on the mountain, take pictures with the castle in the background. When you arrive, you can enter the castle. It's very nice. The castle is very beautiful. The nice thing about the guided tour, the ticket, is that they explain to you what each room was, what each place was. And there's one place that we found sensational, the view that we liked the most in our trip, which I'll put here for you to see, which is the tower. One of the towers, when you see this picture of the castle from afar, it's one of the biggest towers in the castle, and you get a beautiful scenario because it's a very beautiful place with lakes, forest, the mountain. The place that it was built was really well thought out, and it's an amazing place. We thought it was sensational, so go there to get your picture taken, spend a few minutes to take a nice picture from up there. It's an amazing experience. And the guided tour inside takes about 40 minutes. They go through a lot of rooms. There are 17 rooms that were finished while Louis was alive, the Mad King, and there were some that were not even finished and were empty, but they only go through the ones that were finished. So it's kind of a quick visit. You can see everything. It's very beautiful inside the castle, and then you arrive afterwards. You can stay as long as you want to take pictures from the tower, and then you go down and come back yourself, either to the car or to the bus at the appointed time. Oh, and just a second, if you have any questions about the trip, the tour, whatever, send them to us and we'll be happy to help you. Send it to us if you want, even easier, on Instagram, add me on @PaiLorenzi, send me a direct message and I'll help you, and take advantage and follow us there because we're always traveling around the world, showing these tips in a very cool way, and the family routine with our little ones, which are a blast. And people, if you're driving to Germany, you're doing that route that's beautiful, that we highly recommend. The driving tour that you go through Munich, Frankfurt, Berlin, you go through other cities that are also beautiful. Don't forget to use the comparator. It's a site that we use that's a very good tool. I'll leave the link below in the description, but it compares in all rental companies. You put there the city you want to pick up the car or the airport, the city where you are going to return the car, and it compares in all rental companies and finds the best price. We always talk about it because it's a great economy. It's a comparator that really has very strong negotiations because it's the biggest in the world. It has a very strong negotiation. It's cheaper than if you do it at the car rental company. So take a look at this comparator first, compare, search on the rental companies, and you will see that you will save a lot. Don't forget to use the car rental comparator. If you don't have a car, we recommend you to go to a car rental company. It's very easy, it's cheap, it's not expensive for the tour, for the dimension of the tour. It's very nice. They explain to you, the bus is very good, there is food, coffee, water, they give all the assistance. We'll leave here below in the description of the video the link to this website where we buy the tickets, where we buy the tours and the others. It's a site that sells almost all tickets in Europe for the best prices. It's the cheapest place that we always find, so we buy there because we know we will save money and that the service is of quality. It's a very good site, very well reputed, so take a look there. It has this tour. One important thing, there's the tour only to Neuschwanstein Castle, and there's also the tour to Linderhof Palace, which is very nice. We took this one. It's a little combination that you visit both places in the same day. It's a little bit difficult, it takes all day, but it's a very beautiful palace too. You get to see the inside, the garden. It's another very beautiful place to visit, and it ends up complementing each other. It ends up being a very rich visit in terms of history, culture and visuals. The views are beautiful, the places are beautiful, so take a look. We recommend, if you're available and want to visit, to also go to Linderhof Palace, which is an amazing experience. It's completely worthwhile. And here below I'll leave the link to all the sites I mentioned so you can buy the cheapest tickets, the travel insurance. Travel insurance is mandatory to enter Europe. Don't forget, you have to have a travel insurance that covers medical assistance of at least 30,000 euros. That's the requirement, but it's cheap, people. Travel insurance is cheap. I'll leave here below the travel insurance comparator that compares in all insurance companies and shows you the best prices. You save a lot and it's super quick to make the purchase. So take a look there and you will see the prices are unbeatable. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel because it really helps us a lot. And be sure to watch the video on how to save a lot on your trip to Berlin and Germany, a complete video that we made with the step-by-step for you to set up your entire trip with all the tips, the best services and saving a lot, but it's a lot. I'll leave it here along with the playlist that has all the other videos from Germany and Berlin for you to watch. So that's it, guys. Thanks a lot and have nice trips.